Good Saturday evening, everybody. I'm Andy Vitale, host of My Fight Our War, along with OG, and
Hi, everybody.
just out of camera shot here is
Don't hurt yourself. That's a big cat. That's a big
Wonder
dog,
Dog. Oh,
brother.
there goes my shoulder.
Oh,
Fuck.
Jesus. Surgery in less than 4 weeks. How about
There's
that?
Wonder Dog Susie,
Uh-huh.
who's
Injuring her master
oh,
or
good
her servant.
God, man. Yeah,
Oh,
shit.
baby.
Oh,
Why not?
but anyways, there's Susie.
hmm
So
After
kind
that
of
good workout you had this morning. Oh,
kind
my
of goes
goodness.
par with the day, I guess.
Yeah.
But well, so I kind of would jump on here and just start shooting the shit, giving kind of checking up on everything that's been going on, since we haven't been live here in quite a while.
You
Except
sound
today.
so good.
Oh, well, this is the first time in about 3 weeks, well, 2.5 weeks that I've been able to talk. As you guys know, we flew out to New York 2 weeks ago on Friday. I had to do.
The 13th?
I think there was I can't remember three shows, 4 shows Thursday or Friday.
3 on Friday.
Then
I forget how
three
many
or
Saturday.
4 Saturday.
More.
And then by the time I was done, I couldn't talk. And unfortunately, we had to reschedule Sundays. But thank God they were all local in New York area. But I hate canceling anything. But I couldn't talk. And by the time
I see your ears. Oh, great. Where's pound cake when you need them?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who's running this show anyway?
That's my Susie. Yeah. She just fell. I don't even know what I was saying. No,
Well, that you had to
never
cancel 3
do
shows on
shows.
Sunday.
Never do shows with kids or animals. You will be outshined. And here's
Exactly.
my
Shining, your shining star. Look at her.
but anyways, I had to cancel some shows. But just want to, of course, give a shout out to our I almost said it, our Connecticut and our New York and Connecticut family.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry, didn't mean to get in your way there, Susie. But of course, to my brother Ian Bick, man, for everything, and of course our producer, editor Matt Cronin,
Matt.
the rest of the crew there, dog. Hold on. Yeah, let's get Susie some airtime. Yeah, put Susie on camera. This would be so much fun. She's knocking camera lens covers all over the place. Now she's tangled up in the mic cords. But you know what? Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So if your head does this, we'll know.
There go she's heading towards the lights. And
turn the computer off.
Oh no, yeah. So now she's down there. If you see the lights go out, it's because now she's
flicker. We'll know.
Anyways, back to our trip. Also, a huge thank you to AJ Galante for spending some time with him and his hockey team.
Nice guy.
Danbury
nice guy.
And of course, one of his new players they just traded for, Isaac. Got to meet him and the coach. They came up and got to meet him as well. So, unfortunately, like I said, man, it ended up being more than just my throat and vocal cords. Man, it ended up turning into like a really bad sinus infection. Just kicked my butt. And this is probably. This is the first day I've been able to talk like this. I mean, yesterday I was talking a little bit better, and within probably 10 minutes, it was gone again. Yeah. So I was really looking forward to doing a lot yesterday and a lot today. I definitely didn't plan on doing the lives that I did earlier today. And
they were good, though. They were great.
As I said in the first one, I knew, I mean, obviously it was going to affect me talking about my
Mhm.
brother Sidney,
Mhm.
but I tell you what, I didn't realize how much until I started talking about him and just being
Yeah.
there, because that's where I was,
Mhm.
is where we spent our time. And that was our time where we spent so many days together.
Mhm.
Um, that area I showed you with the candles, we spent so many days with
Those were beautiful
him
candles.
just talking. And like I said, with Sydney, most of it was him talking, me listening, um, him talking, me trying to figure out what the hell he was talking about. And I mean that
Yeah,
with the
sometimes.
utmost respect and love for my brother.
Mhm.
Uh, my brother
But he was
Sydney.
sometimes hard to understand.
Sydney was so unique and such a blessing. And I just found some
Yeah.
videos of the day we got him that bike, and
Beautiful
and
day.
another video of I did while I was down there. So you got to get a little bit of the personality of Sydney. And I was telling a story. I've known him for almost 10 years,
Wow.
since the first time I saw him, but only actually been talking for the last, I had a few, because I've seen him at the healing masses down at Las Solanas every Wednesday. And the way that Sydney walked, it was extremely obvious he had
Mhm.
severe deformities in his body, his lower extremities and his arms. What I thought, being in the medical field, especially working in physical therapy and rehab as a tech and as a trainer, it looked like cerebral palsy, or something
Mhm.
like that, a
It
neuro,
did.
some type of issue. And that wasn't it at all. And as I was saying, a couple of the videos of talking with him, is I just remember seeing him, and the I could just see each step that man took, the
Painful.
torque on his knees, his hip, his back. And it was, then he would get down on his knees and pray, and I would just be in awe of and he was always smiling.
Mhm.
And I was like, and I just sit there, and I just had so much just admiration for this person I didn't even know. And then one day, I mean, a couple years went by. It was like 2 years, and then I finally just walked up to him, and I just said, "Hey, how you doing, man? I see you here all the time. My name's Manny." And he kind of smiled in his Sydney way, and he goes, I'm Sydney." And we just started chatting, and next thing you know, one thing led to another. Next thing you know, My Fight Our War came up, and talking about all these miracles, and he started telling me about him and how he was born a preemie, and they said he probably wouldn't even live, and he did.
Mhm.
And when he was only a few months old, he was in a terrible, horrific car accident in a little VW Bug somewhere down south, when the car was hit by a gas tanker,
Mm.
and obliterated it. And they found Sydney in the engine, and
Jesus.
thought that he was dead.
Oh yeah.
And
Whoa.
that's why he was in the condition he was in. And physically, obviously, the things that, he was able to walk,
Mhm.
very labored. He rode that tricycle.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
and he
Oh.
obviously there was a lot of head trauma. And
Mhm.
Sydney also had issues with addiction that we discussed, because when he found out about what we do, he told me about his, and we became family. Like I said, that person that you look at that you don't know, that perfect stranger, is one hello away from becoming your best friend and a new family member.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's what Sydney became.
Yep.
And the last video I just put up of us was last year, when we got him that bike,
Mm.
and I was doing the video, and he popped in, and that son of a bitch, he got me again just talking about him. I started welling up. He was there. He was freaking there, and he had me crying. that's just the impact that man had on me. And
Mm,
I miss him. And
mhm,
it's just walking around there today, the place you could tell. I mean, the people that work there, um, I talked to, and they were just they said this place is just not the same. I mean, he was
mhm,
there every day doing whatever he could, and it just I'll never forget that the one time. 'Cause I noticed people there because he would get loud sometimes, and he was never mean, but he would get loud and sometimes a
mhm.
little, you might get intimidated by it. But I would see people, he'd always start talking to them, and they would talk to him like in passing. Instead of stopping and talking to him, he would stop to talk, and they would, yeah, yeah, and then just like keep talking and why, okay, bye, Sydney. Almost like it was a chore or something.
Mhm.
And I just remember that bothered me. So I walked over, and this was after, like I said, that first time when I introduced myself. And after that, every time I saw him, first thing we got big old, we just hugged each other. First time from that first time when we introduced, every time after that, he either walked up to me, gave me a big hug, I hugged him, and it was always "I love you." From that day on to the last day I saw him a few days ago, and
I remember you would tell me that you were going to go down to Father Solanus and buy this guy this friend of yours, a sandwich. And I'm going, oh, okay, that sounds fine. Never knowing it was Sydney that you were buying the sandwich for. And I'm
yeah,
sure when you sat and ate with him, that made his day.
well, he was always by himself, and
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
talk to anybody, anyone who would listen.
Hmm.
But he would go off, and he would sometimes be so on point, and he would talk. And um, hey, Melissa, thank you
Hi,
so
Melissa.
much. Thank you. So, I mean, Sydney. Yeah, we're just, of course, talking about it's Sydney Day.
Yeah.
It's Sydney Saturday, and
Mm,
just some stories about my brother. And but he just wanted to talk, and
mm.
some people, and God bless him. I mean, it wasn't easy because sometimes he would go off on these not rants, but yeah, they were
Up like
rants,
on a tangent,
and
just
they would be
yeah.
sometimes extremely loud, and
Mm.
to the point where people were looking, and he'd be sitting at the table, just me and him, and he would be like, just going to, very animated, and like right in my face, and people would be turning around. I'd be sitting here with my pop, I'd just be, or my water, I'd just be sitting there.
Hmm.
Then he'd be
Hmm.
like right in my face, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, 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 okay." And this one time, man, I'll never forget. We were going back and forth, and this one time, man, he was just going off, and he looked at me, and he he stopped, and
I know this too.
he goes, "You know what I'm saying, man?" He goes, "You know what I'm talking about?" And I looked at him. I go, "Sydney, I have no freaking clue what you are talking about." And
I
Sydney
love that.
in his Sydney way, he sat there and he just went, and he just started. He laughed so hard. And laughed. He got up, came over, and just started hugging me. And it was just like he never, because, I talked to him like I talked to anybody. And
Hmm.
I think that shocked him. And from that moment on, it was just, I couldn't wait.
Beautiful.
I mean, like I at the gym, man. I was like, "What are you doing?" I got to go see Sydney and go have some
Hmm.
lunch. And there, like I said, there were times where he would talk about stuff that were just, it was so out there that, but then there's times he would start talking, and some of the things didn't make sense, but he would just keep rambling and rambling. And then, like, this one piece would fit into this piece. And as I listened to it, it was like, son of a bitch, that kind of made sense in this really out there format.
Hmm.
And then other times he was right on point, man. Like My Fight or War, I saw this video, and just man, how's your back? How'd the surgery go? Just like that. And then the next one was, there's this clock, and it's 12, and it's a 1 and a 2. There's numbers and numbers, and then he would just, but it meant something to him.
Yeah.
And I saw it did. So I didn't interrupt him. I just let him go. And I just sit there. And sometimes I would just sometimes I'd have to just and I'd look and I'd put my hand up and then I started laughing. He goes, "Oh," and he started laughing because he knew that I did. But he I think he just, because I treated him like anyone, man. And there were times, I remember one day, it was the same day this happened to us both. I walked up to him, and right before I saw him, I'm either in my jeans and my t-shirt or in my sweats and my t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. T-shirt.
Well, I'm at Father Slash walk-in, and this older gentleman, probably my age, maybe a little younger, mid 50s, maybe, or whatever. I mean, hat and everything, looking just like this. He walks by and he looks up at me. He goes, "Oh, good morning, Father." And I was like, "Good morning, my son." I'm like, "What the shit?" So I was like, "Whoa." I mean, but he literally stopped and looked at me, and with like the respect of a priest or a good morning. And I was just like, it was just so, just when he said, "Hello, Father," I was just, and I come around the corner and there's Sidney, and he walks up to me, he goes, "You're not," as clear as could be, he goes, "You're not going to believe this." He goes, someone from inside the church, and he pointed this person out to me. It was a lady and her, looked like son maybe, walked up. He goes, and they asked me for a blessing. They asked Sidney to bless them. And I go, "I just had some dude say hello, Father," to me. So, and I go, "I don't know what's going on." Let's see. But we got
Hi,
Katie.
Katie.
Hey, Katie. Hope God's good with you guys, Katie.
Hi, Phyllis.
And we got Danny.
Hey, Dan.
We got my new brother Bill, who we gotta have you, and actually OG, you and Bill gotta hook up here because I'm gonna go on Bill's show, and I'm gonna we've been just talking just today, so I'm gonna come on with Bill. Looking forward to coming on your show, Bill.
Hi, Bill. I'm
OG.
OG.
We got Brianna on here.
Brianna. Hey, Brianna.
And yeah, just to recap, man, this has been a really rough day. Like I said, talking about my brother Sidney, that you guys have maybe seen the posts, and but just talking about, the funny times and the happy times, and just the times with Sidney, and how, it's things happen where you look at things so differently, and when stuff like that happens, and it's like the other shit that comes up in our lives, it really ain't that bad, man.
Yeah.
The things that come up in life, the things that make me crazy and shit, it's like, really ain't no big deal, man. And we got to really just look at what's in front of us. Like I said in that first video, our freaking lives every day, unfortunately, you look around and there's so much hatred and anger in this world of ours. And but there's also all of us who fight that. There's all of us. There's Danny, there's Katie, there's Brianna, there's Bill, there's Katie, there's Melissa, there's the rest of My Fight Our War. There's all of the other families out there. There's all of the people who are banding together and supporting each other. And that's what, sometimes it's easy just to get complacent and be pissed off at everything. Believe me, I spent most of my life being angry and not even knowing why. And, just, looking around the big picture, man, Sidney, he's just saw the best in everything and everybody. And it was just like, shit, I got no problems. I got no problems. And just like I said at the end of that first one, let's do this for Sidney,
Yeah.
Even if it's just one freaking day, one act of kindness. It's got to start somewhere. instead of bashing people, instead of freaking talking about people, instead of disrespecting each other. You know what? I don't care if you don't like each other. Things come up in life, but is
Mhm.
it really, really that bad?
Mhm.
That it can't be fixed or it can't be
Just
forgiven.
don't worry about it. Yeah, just
Can't
don't
be
worry about it.
forgiven. I mean,
Mhm.
if it's something that you can change, okay, change it. If it's something that you can't change, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go because it's killing you. It's eating you up.
Mhm.
And then by you bringing it up and hashing, trying to bring other people into your wars, all you're doing is feeding fires that don't need to be lit.
To give
Inst-
yourself an ulcer
Instead, be like Sydney. Share a
Mhm.
smile, a
all the
freaking
time.
smile. Hi, how are you? You know what? He knew people didn't feel comfortable around him, but it never stopped him from saying hello to people. He knew that people were afraid of him, but he still smiled at them when they walked by. He knew that I was laughing my ass at him because I didn't know what he was talking about. And he
And
even
he still
told me,
smile.
he said no one laughed at me before,
Oh,
because they were either afraid to or thought they were being disrespectful. I was just being honest, man. You know what I mean? No,
no.
not- no, you lost me when you said hi, you know. And he loved it though because
Yeah,
I was treating him just like I
yeah.
treat everybody.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, it was tough. And but you know what?
He brought a
He'll
lot of sunshine in the world.
he will always be in my mind. He'll always be in my
Mhm.
heart.
Every time I see a candle, I'm going to think of Sydney.
Oh man,
And then what he has said that he had to light the candles so the prayers would get to heaven. Oh my God. Talk about touching your heart.
he sat
Woo.
there and he was, that was 2 days ago. I was there and I walked out to the
Looking
candles
for him.
and they were gone. I mean, there was like barely any there. And the first thing I thought of was Sydney. I was like, it was just something hit me. Not like, oh my God, he's dead
Yeah.
or something's wrong, but it's something. It just wasn't. It was wrong. And
Mhm.
I remember I went home and I called my mom, to tell her I went to just talking. Yeah, I was down there and I
Mhm.
told her about the candles. I go, yeah, there's
Yep.
barely any there. And then of course last night, fine, and
Mhm.
here, the information that I got today from people was that, and I believe, remember his helper that we got the bike with, Eileen, I think her name is
Mhm.
Irene.
Yes, Eileen. Eileen.
I believe is the one who found him, and
Yeah.
it appears what I was told today is this is being secondhand from,
Mhm.
which I freaking hate doing, unless I, this is not me quoting, gospel here, but what I was told is he was found at home by her, and the person who told me said that they thought it was either Christmas Eve night or either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, is when they
Mhm.
found him, and they said he was appeared to be natural causes,
Yeah.
and they said he looked. So that's when I heard the news last night. My mind went into
Yeah.
all kinds of different
Mhm.
directions.
Mhm.
With that area, the people that I've seen down there that have been in that immediate area,
Mhm.
kind of messing with him in the past. Um, so to find out that it was something like that, but
Well, so
yeah,
there was no trauma. Nobody broke into his apartment.
as the
Yeah.
person who told me said the same thing though. He said,
Yeah.
as we know right now, he
Mhm.
goes, there's been nothing official yet, and it's
Yeah.
still a lot going on. But so I guess I should say unofficially,
Mhm.
he was found at home, is what I was told today,
Mhm.
by the care, the one who was helping him, and that was it. And
Mhm.
Thursday I'll be there for the service for him, and yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna be. Um, I'm gonna go probably tomorrow. or
After
Tuesday
church.
and talk and see what the itinerary is. Because I'm not sure if they'd let me speak or not. Um,
Oh, I hope so. Oh, that would be fabulous.
but I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll be able to get through it. But hey, you
Well,
know
but
what?
that's
I'll do
okay.
what I
That's
can.
okay. That's okay.
But I think people need to know the more about Sydney
Mhm.
instead of what they see and just perceive. So
It'd be nice if his mom and dad actually show up and you could meet them and let them know that their son brought so much sunshine into your life.
oh, definitely,
That'd be
definitely. And
great.
then and Dad, yes, I thank you, brother. You can finally understand me a little bit. It still gets, and people are like, what's wrong with your voice? Now when I talk to people, like even to, I was at the cemetery in the office talking, and the one said something about, oh, are you sick too? Do you have what's going around? I looked at it, I go, well, no, this is how I usually sound. I go,
Well, this is better.
this is good. And so,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, so yeah, Danny, it's getting better, man.
Mhm.
And you are right about this. We do this, we do it
Yes,
together.
yes,
You're right,
yes.
brother. We got Trisha.
Hi,
Um,
Tricia.
and thank you. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
so sweet.
Um, but you know what? That's what this family is, man.
Yeah,
As soon as
loving.
I shut or posted that about Sydney, the
Hmm.
outpouring of positivity, and I do apologize for not commenting back this morning on those. It was just a very strange day. After I left
Hmm.
there, um, I went to the cemetery for my dad, and I always do check the headstones and I clean there. It's part of my little ritual now. And now with all the wreaths and everything that are up, especially with these winds, they all get blown over. So just walk. I just put the wreaths back up for
Hmm.
people, and I did the stations, and I just didn't want to leave. It was such a beautiful day. I walked over and there was this huge tree right by the middle of the stations. And I walked over this and I just leaned back against the tree and the sun was coming down on me and this
Mm.
breeze. And I just leaned back and I swear to I damn near fell asleep because I kind of did whoa, that would have been something, man. Some people find me laid out there. Man, we got some dead guy. Manny's grave is 4 plots over and he fell over by the tree, which
How
was
did he
pretty
crawl
screwed
out?
up.
What happened?
Yeah, because actually my plot was probably about 50 feet from where me and my Uncle Gus and but I was just sitting, just it was just a beautiful day. And but yeah, just really, I don't know, it's just one of those things where you just really puts things into perspective about life and people
Hmm.
and things that you think are so terrible that they're not
Um,
so bad. They're really not. And no, trust me, man, I'm no.
there's a book that you may have heard of. It says, "Don't sweat the small stuff," and it's all small stuff. That
I tell
kind
you
of
what,
says it all.
like I said
Don't
this
worry.
morning, I always start off like, "Hey, Mark, it's a great day." Well, it is.
Hmm.
I open my eyes. You
Hmm.
know, there's a lot of people who didn't open their eyes today, including my brother
Hmm.
Sydney.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, we're all human, man. I mean, of course, we're gonna have things that happen and affect us and piss us off, and you're gonna get mad, you're gonna get upset, and you're gonna be angry. It's life, it's emotions, man. It's what we all deal with every day. But it's knowing when to turn it off and
Let
let
it
it
go.
go. And the thing is, you're talking. Here's people right now that know me that are watching this who do, who've known me are like, listen to this bitch. This is a guy who, you would have, back in the day, if you would have looked at me sideways, I would have been all over you for like, I could have been trying to plot your demise for like the next 6 months, trying to beat
Wow.
your ass somewhere or something like that, just out of anger and just stupidity that, and now here I am let it go, but and the thing
Become a
is though,
guru.
no, it just, I just, for me, I have been blessed, man, because
Hmm.
like I said, those people who know my story, those doctors walked into my room and I had to call my mom. I had to call my family and I had to say goodbye to them. I had to have them come in and I had to look at them in the face and say, I have less than 6 weeks to live. I'm dying. Hospice is taking over my care. I have to leave you. And I'm still here. You talk about being blessed. So,
Yeah, miracle.
yeah, it does. If that didn't open my eyes, compare and along with all the other things that happened in my life, then I don't deserve any of this. And for all these blessings that I do have, I am going to earn it. And I feel that I have earned it up to this point, but I am not done by a long shot. I have so much improving to do in my life and what I want to do personally, professionally, with my Fight Our War, with all of this, with all of our wonderful family, the things that we have worked going in with the works that about with my Fight Our War, with our producer Matt Cronin, with Ian Bick, with AJ Galante, with all these other people that we are working with now behind the scenes that are pretty incredible. Along with
just to share, I want to share something with the family that what happened this week. A friend needed some assistance. She called her friend. This woman who's never met Manny before wanted to sit and talk to him because she has an issue with somebody in her family who's having an issue. And you spent a good 2 hours just talking with her. Your name is getting out there and people are looking to you. And the fact that you give that up, which is what you have always said, since you've survived, hospice didn't take you away, that you want to give back. And you did it the other day. And, you don't share all those stories about how people come to you for help. So it's okay to share. Okay. Just tell people how wonderful you are.
The thing is, I've always said that.
True.
Well, and I appreciate that. And I really do. But like I said,
Those are the people that come to you.
No, we're a family, and and I do appreciate that. And it does mean a lot to me. It means, believe me, it means a lot. But I'm not here for accolades. I'm not here for look what I did. This is what a blessing I've been given, and this is seeing these comments, seeing Bill and Bree and Dan and Katie and Trisha, seeing that means the world to me. And and that woman that I ended up talking to
you.
Just as soon as we started talking, I mean,
she started to cry.
As soon as she opened her mouth opened and the tears came down. And it was about 2 hours we sat and talked, and by the time we got done, she hugs and smiles, and we'll see what happens. And but that's what we all do. I mean, we see all the time when we have a family member who's having a hard time, they'll send some posts in. You got all these responses. Hey, we're here for you. Call me, text me, message me. You got this. You're not alone. And it just shows, the support and love that this family has. And
or if you need a ride, you got Dan and Katie.
I tell you, we've got a couple in a truck. We come and get you. And that's what I mean.
Wonderful.
When I talk about the reality of life, which is there are some evil, terrible things that are happening. You got to remember, we've got the Dans, the Katies, the Trishas and Brees and everyone else here that that we're here and we're not going anywhere.
For each other. Yeah.
And of course, I cannot forget my brother Skylar Ray, who unfortunately he was under the weather from his whirlwind adventures, and hopefully Skylar's feeling better. I know we've been back and forth for the last couple of weeks texting and stuff, and I appreciate he reached out about Sydney, so thank you, brother. I appreciate it, Skylar. And we are going to be going live again on Wednesday.
New Year's Day.
Music and mayhem. But when it comes down to it, folks, life is good.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Thank you
there's
very
Trisha
much.
Pittens, sweet Trisha.
Yep. Tell you what, if you guys get a chance, you could even, check out some of the Sydney stuff. I don't know if it's still up on his or what, but there's pictures and videos that we have of him. And what a character. And, but other than that, we're going to be back on track, getting the shows rolling again on Mondays. We do have, I don't even know, there's besides Susie ransacking the place. So
I don't have the sheet in front of me. So
you guys, your stuff is over there, so you can deal with that when you see it, and we'll get that in order. And then we have to figure out back to New York and what's going on there, and then of course our Athens family in Alabama with Lori in Boston, and then Oregon with Skylar, and who knows?
Your surgery coming up in
that's right.
January
Yeah.
23rd.
Yes, my lovely surgery. Yeah, that's definitely not looking forward to that, but looking forward to getting it over with.
Well, shoulder surgery and eye surgery. Okay, really. So you're probably about 54, 55 procedures now.
I am Henry.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I am Henry.
For those in the Detroit area, yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who are in the Detroit, Michigan area with Henry Ford Hospital, they have the commercial, I am Henry. Well, the last time I went in for a scan for my shoulder, I told the tech, because they were looking at my records, and they're like, holy shit, man. How many surgeries and this? And then the guy looks at me and I go, yeah. I go, screw those commercials. I go, I'm Henry. And they started. I love that.
You really need to be hired for that. They need to put you on.
I got to go in there. They'll either be like, yeah, we want this guy, or hell no, we don't, because it's like, what do you mean you had to do multiple surgeries on him? Why did the first one not work? I'm not going to tell them that I totally do not listen to them when,
Well, 285 pounds on one shoulder is a little bit much, even for somebody strong like you.
But anyways, that's about it, man. Just wanted to, just talk about Sydney for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just share some stories about him, and I still remember that day when I still remember the day that he told me that someone stole his bike.
Oh.
I was very pissed, and I had to walk away from him, and I came back again, and I just said, it's going to be okay. And I didn't tell him what was going on at first. And then, of course, the video there when we presented him with that bike, the look
that was a beautiful day.
I posted it on my Fred Award along with my page as well, when we gave Sydney that bike, and the smiles don't give it justice, that were caught on the video. He, when he first walked up and saw it, he was just staring at it. And I go, thinking, oh shit, man, he doesn't like it. And he turned around, looked at me, and I was about to say, why don't you take it for a spin, is what I was going to say.
Exactly.
I go, why don't you? And by the time I got, why don't you out, he was on the bike and gone. And you see him take off, and I'm laughing, and there he went. And he just was pedaling away and just yelling and laughing. That couple $100 bike made his day. And man,
it was like you gave him a Lamborghini.
The first thing he said when he saw it, he goes, pointed to the back, and it's even on the video. When the first thing he said is, there's a basket, I can put my candles there. That's the first thing he thought of, the candles. First thing he thought of was somebody else, not himself. And it's been so long since I saw that video that I forgot about what I even said or what it was about. And it was actually me just doing the video, and he rode his bike in when I was doing it, and just in Sydney form just took over, and with his personality, and
Mhm.
it's just the stuff he said.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, he makes my heart smile, and
Mhm.
will be missed. But
You
again,
would have thought we gave him $1,000,000, I'll tell you.
but huge thank you, man, again for all you guys for your comments this morning. I read them all, trust me, and I'll be commenting back. But it was just kind of a very strange day today, and
Mhm. Mhm.
so I that's about it, man. Just wanted to pop out and actually just miss doing lives, miss being behind the mic and talking and doing this stuff, man. It's like you do it all the time, and even though it was a little over a week or so that, or more, week and a half that I wasn't
Mhm.
able to do it,
Mhm.
man. It just I don't like it. So we'll get back on track, and we'll get the Mondays going. We'll be doing
Yay! Yay!
and of course the intermittent throughout the day, lives from
Mhm.
wherever, whatever. To be doing those. Um, of course, Bill, we're going to be getting a hold of you to jump on your show as well,
Yeah, I'll message you, Bill.
and we will we'll take care of it. So,
Yeah.
you got anything else you want to add on before we sign off?
Well, what you had said, just don't worry. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. In the big picture, it's all small stuff.
It is so, and tell them, man, you guys have a great night, great weekend, and we will be. We got to figure out who's. Oh, that's right. There's no one this Monday because of for New Year's,
The holiday.
the
Yeah.
holiday. So we'll be
But New
starting up
Year's
again.
Day. New Year's
But
Day.
be chit
Skylar.
chatting with Skylar and everybody, and that as well. So you guys have a great night, and I can't think of anything else to say. But
I was just trying to figure out how to wave, and it looked odd. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. So.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night. Love you all, and keep fighting the good fight.